The U.S. Forest Service hosting public meetings across the West Coast to discuss proposed amendments to the Northwest Forest Plan. Well, thank you for choosing NBC5 News at 10 on Cozy. I'm Andrea Boyd. NBC5's Lauren Preto has more on the priorities brought forth by some community members in our top story tonight at 10.
Logging old forest is not productive.
Residents gathered at the Medford Interagency Office talking with U.S. Forest Service representatives about proposed changes to the Northwest Forest Plan. In November, the Forest Service released the Draft Environmental Impact Statement, also known as DEIS. To help the public learn about and comment on this DEIS, the Forest Service organized 9 meetings in Northern California, Oregon, and Washington.
The Northwest Forest Plan was established almost 30 years ago. Obviously, a lot has changed in 30 years on our landscapes and our economies. And it's time to take a look at that Northwest Forest Plan. That's that umbrella plan for how we manage our forests here.
The Forest Service says these proposed amendments aim to address wildfire resilience, economic opportunities, improve forest stewardship, adapt to a changing climate, and include tribal governments. Before the meeting began, environmental groups rallied in front of the building in support of stronger protections for old-growth forests. These groups say while some of the proposed amendments are beneficial, others threaten to weaken the policies and guidelines governing land use on federal lands. Luke Riediger with Applegate-Siskiyou Alliance says these forests should be better protected.
They provide important habitat, they provide clean water, they are excellent at storing carbon on the landscape, and they are among the most fire-resistant habitats that remain on our landscape.
Riediger says the DEIS's broad categorization of either dry or moist forests is an oversimplification, adding the amendments would increase timber production by 2 to 3 times the current pace. He says these forests have more site-specific needs.
In the moist forest, yes, they are going to be protecting, for the most part, the older stands and the older forest habitats. But in these dry forest habitats, what the plan will do is actually increase logging in those mature and old stands.
Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest Supervisor Molly Julara says the 4 alternatives they're proposing do have different impacts, but also do prioritize old-growth forests.
The goal is to have some protections for those older forests and provide some flexibilities above what we currently have in the plan around our communities.
Riediger says as they stand, the amendments don't prioritize old-growth forests enough. He says the logging of these trees can have drastic impacts.
When you're going in and logging the most fire-resistant portions of the landscape, opening them up and encouraging drier, hotter, windier landscapes with more understory brush, the result is an increase in fire risks.
In Medford, Lauren Preto, NBC5 News.
If you want to make a comment on the draft amendment to the Northwest Forest Plan, head to the Forest Service's website there on your screen.